Happy Sunday. Good morning. I figured I would jump on here to do a little crow tutorial. So if you checked out my story yesterday, I was out on my paddleboard with a couple of my friends having an amazing day, continuing on my birthday week celebration. And I videotaped me doing my crow to tripod on my board, which is right behind me. And then actually this morning, one of the groups that I was in posted something about crow as well. And I was like, you know what? Crow is actually one of my favorite poses. I like to say that I crow wherever I go. I've done it at the Balancing Rock in Colorado. I've done it on the tip of a boat, one of my friend's fishing boats. I do it all the time at the beach, anywhere I am. If it's a cool photo opportunity, I try to see if I can get into crow pose. So I figured that I would do a little tutorial this morning about some muscles that you need to engage and some things that kind of will help you out a little bit when you are going to complete doing it. So one way to help, one starting pose, I guess you could say, would be Malasana squat is one way that we want to start. Kind of work out your hips, getting your body low so you're centering down. You want to try to sit up as high as you can. So this is opening up our hips, and it's also going to help in our placement when we want to put our knees. So when we do get into crow, we want to be able to be kind of down underneath. I hope I didn't get cut off. So we're sitting up tall, opening up our hips. Sometimes I like to rock side to side. And then our next pose, I'm actually going to go out on the side. So if you do not have crow in your practice, so crow is when we have our hands, they're going to be about shoulder width apart, and we're going to be working on getting our knees up as high as we possibly can, up in this part. So beginning here, if you don't even want to start balancing, this is great for muscle memory. So right now I have my core engaged, my belly button is in and up. I'm working on that rounding. I'm really pushing into my hands, puffing up my shoulders, really rounding, finding this form. I like to say you want to imagine that you have like a belt on and somebody is lifting up your hips straight up high when we get into this pose. I'm going to move this block here just for 1 second. So when you're in this pose, also we want to be looking forward. So you'd want to be like looking at the block. What tends to happen is people will look down at their feet as they're getting ready to balance and take flight. You actually want to look forward because where your gaze is normally going to be where you end up falling. So we always want to have end up going, not falling, because we're going to be flying. So once you start here, your next step to help would actually be to take that block, put your feet up on it like you're a little perch, like you're a little bird perched up. Good morning, Sam. Then we're going to place our hands down. Now this helps get our knees up higher into our arms. We want to get them as high up into our armpits as we can. Then we're leaning forward, bending our arms, making a little shelf. And from here, belly's engaged. You can practice 1 foot up at a time, holding. Maybe you do a little tap, finding that balancing point. But it's all about the engagement of squeezing our legs together, squeezing our belly in, rounding. We're pushing through our hands, rounding that back, and envisioning somebody lifting us up by our hips. So it's about trying to get our hips stacked on top. Anytime we're doing any inversion, any arm balance, it's always about stacking our joints right on top of one another. So we're working on getting our shoulders over our wrists, and then our shoulders and our hips are at the same height to look balanced, bringing our heels as close up to our glutes as we can, keeping our gaze forward. And if you wanted to transition into tripod as slowly as you can, trying to keep this form, we are going to now have to tuck our chin, and as we tuck our chin, we're bending into our elbows so we can gracefully lower our head down. Squeezing everything back together comes into the midpoint, so then we can slowly lift up to tripod. And hinging back down. So, I hope you actually try out crow, taking it step by step. It is something that you definitely need core arm balance, but as you engage all of your muscles, it's not so much of your arms doing the work, it's more your belly and everything else being engaged. You want to use your whole body to get up and through, not just working on just our arms. But yeah, everybody take flight, have fun, happy Sunday. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you have a great day.